including some fellow streamers who are actively slandering Asmongold while also calling for his deplatforming. Now, of course, this is a situation where Asmongold shared a very extreme opinion where he wants people who are scamming people in the United States while also living here illegally to be deported. Now, that is a little too much for social media, and they are trying to not only chastise him for those comments, but...
Yeah, I don't understand this whole entire theory, guys. Like, why do we... Like... We're finding out now that all of these illegal immigrants are actually doing fraud in California. And they're doing it openly. I think that ICE needs to get these people out. I really think that they need to push harder. Especially in California. With all this fraud going around. I was really going to make a pun about John Lennon, but that idea was shot down. Oh my god. I can't believe it. That's actually fucking recorded from my YouTube channel. Ugh, that is such a bad joke and poor taste.
Also trying to take his comments out of context to fit their own agenda, and it's backfiring because people have had everybody,
anyone that scams the government, that is illegal or legal to get deported.
Just dishonest reaction.
No, unfortunately, Asmongold is wrong here because even if they are legal citizens, they deserve. If they're legal citizen, they deserve prison. If they're illegal, of course, get them out. But if they're legal citizens, you can't just deport them. That's what's stupid. You can't just deport them, guys. I think is a bad take from Asmon.
Into his comments. Now, if you want to see Asmongold derangement syndrome in action really quick here, I just saw this before recording this video. This girl, Fandia.
Yes, but they earned it. That's the difference. The United States government gave them their green card. That's what's dumb. So the federal government screwed up. But your green card can be revoked for criminal activity. So yeah, it to the eyes of the law, it does make sense.
A streamer went on Allcraft with Asmongold and Rich Campbell, and you can see just appearing on a podcast with Asmongold these days is enough to get people screaming in anger, saying, yikes, you really associate with Asmon? Does none of the stuff he says on stream worry you? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're at that point. Even
so, lady has him on stream, and so everywhere Asmongold goes now, it's considered a nuclear bomb by the left. Is that what I'm getting?
Being in his presence is enough for you to get canceled. But this is the main clip here from a Hassan fanboy account claiming that...
Oh my god. Ugh.
Asmongold demands a solution to deal with migrants in America and offers to help ICE personally to brutalize families. Here's the clip they provided.
All of this is by design. I say this over and over, and I will continue saying it. They are doing this on purpose. They are doing it so they can continue to fund these parasite migrants into our country. And that's the reason why. And by the way, for you guys that are in Europe that are watching this, the same thing's happening over there. The West has a huge problem that we have an infection and we refuse to admit that there's a problem.
Well, Asmon is right. What Nick Shirley figured out in California, no. That should not even be allowed. If you are an immigrant in this country and you're making millions of dollars and you got a fucking $200,000 Mercedes-Benz in the parking lot of a shacked out apartment complex with a fake-ass name on it, yeah, deport them. 100% agree with Asmon there. Get rid of them.
There is clearly a problem, there is clearly an affliction, and there is also clearly a solution. But they don't want to talk about that because it might make them feel bad. That has to stop. Like, if I knew that I could get these people deported and sent back to Guatemala or Somalia or wherever the they came from, if I knew I could do that, I would take a break from my stream.
Now, of course, as we'll see, the screen you're looking at here in this...
It's very, very hard to do that without law enforcement, Asmon. You can't just go around being a freaking mercenary. That's called martial law. But if they do something illegal, you should... Law enforcement should be equipped enough to get rid of all of them. I'm sorry. You going around and doing it privately, dude, you have no idea, Asmon, how dangerous these people are. And I'm not saying that your opinion is wrong. You're doing what Nick Fuentes does, dude. You're putting out a problem, but not an adequate solution. Don't do this shit on your own, Asmon. That's a horrible idea to put out in the government, man. And I'm not saying that the idea is bad. What I'm saying is that you have to execute it right. Especially where these people come from. They come from the Middle East. Okay? A majority of the Middle Eastern countries on this planet do nothing but violence. Which means the moment that you go to take them in, they're going to be violent with you. What's a guy like you, Asmongold, going to do if you invade a house? You have no tactical training, bro. You're going to get yourself murked. It's going to be game over. Lights out, bro. Asmon's talking about helping them find the scammers and follow the money. That's exactly what I'm saying, though. He's a dude who live streams. No. These people are too big of evils for him. They are. He's just a live streamer, dude. He's never dealt with criminality. These people have backups to their backups. They're a funnel web, bro. No. A guy like Asmon shouldn't be putting his freaking nose in the ring for that. He can't even... In his house, he can't even defend himself adequately. He's the type of guy that has to call the cops to defend him. He does not have any tactical knowledge. He doesn't even probably know how to defend his house properly. No, this is a horrible idea. If he came up with a group, on the other hand, that has the experience, that works. But him doing it personally, I would not recommend that. No. No, Cody disapproves of this idea. No, this is a bad idea, Asmon. If you're going to do this, put your money into hiring professionals that will do it. And make sure that they have good conduct from a law enforcement perspective. Don't do this shit yourself, bro. It's a bigger dark hole than you think it is, dude. I'm being honest with you, Asmon.
Clip is intentionally cropped inward to remove all the context around him to try to make Asmongold look worse. And of course, that's enough for people like Andy Cortez to jump on the bandwagon here and say some pretty out-of-pocket stuff about Asmongold and his late father as well, saying when at Asmongold's dad died.
So this dude has no one left to disappoint? Wow. Ugly-ass racist cretins? So everybody that's a fan of him is a racist cretin? It's not racism to get rid of somebody who's illegal, Andy Cortez. They're violating the rules of my home. As a guy who actually defended this country, I actually should have a bigger say in what happens in this than any of you. Because I earned it through blood, sweat, and tears. You guys haven't done anything to defend this place. You have no right to call Asmon's chat cretins. Racist cretins at that. Bro. All these Hassan people, dude. I don't understand, dude. I don't get it. I'm of the opinion that both red and blue states has some form of fraud in some shape or form. Like, for example, for a red state in Plano, Texas, there is a section of a subdivision that's set up like an Islamic district where Sharia law is enforced, even though Sharia law is partially illegal statewide. The blue state examples include the two states like Minnesota and California for known reasons. You know why Texas isn't dealing with that? Because it's two moneymakers, dude. Because if I bet you look up that suburban area, it's either close to Austin or it's close to Dallas. And I hate to tell you this, but there's too much money that rolls through those two counties, bro. You pay off the right people high enough in Texas, you can get whatever you want. Fraudulent, yes, but it's really hard to get to those people. It's like telling a ranch owner in Montana he can't have his ranch. There's not enough statewide cops in Montana to monitor all the wilderness that's in Montana. Same thing goes for Texas, bro. Plano is next to Dallas. I used to live there. Well, there you go. 2 + 2 = 4, bro. The issue that I have with this is this guy is automatically thinking that it's a race problem. It's not a race problem. It's a wrong versus right problem, which people seem to be missing. You've got people on the right saying, hey, it's because they're just illegal that they should go. And then you got people on the left who are doing this kind of douchebaggery over here, which is worse. I'm not saying... Let me try to explain this. If you put it in perspective, the people who are saying obey the law are right. Obey the law. And if you get caught, yeah, your ass deserves a punishment for that. But at the flip of a coin, though, going instantly into racist cretins, really? Like, that's where we're at? They're not racist cretins, bro. They're just thinking common sense, Cortez. It's common sense. Most common sense revolves around having a moral compass of right and wrong, and most common sense sits in the right way to do things. The morally right. Which is why guys like you need to start shutting their mouths and get on the moral compass. Like, what the fuck?
It made things worse for everyone because now this dude has no one left to disown.
Imagine, and like, spitting on his dead dad, dude. That's punching down. That's a real pussy-ass move, bro. You're not coming from a position of power talking about somebody's dead father. Like, that just makes you look weak to everybody around you. Because that's an easy grab, dude, to insult someone.
Disappoint. No one close to talk sense to him, just an ugly racist cretin talking to other ugly racist cretins. Now, as I always say with people like this and Hassan, personal pet peeve, but you're a grown man, start using some capital letters at the beginning of your sentence. What are you, a teenage girl on Instagram or something?
Rev, they literally have the mentality of 12-year-olds. You're asking too much for them to capitalize the first word in a paragraph. Actually, as a matter of fact, with the day and age it is now, you're asking way too much for them to know what common grammar is when writing a sentence. You're pushing too hard, Rev. Knock that off.
Something like, what is wrong with you? But yeah,
that's 100% a joke, chat.
See, people bringing up Asmongold's father,
I'm not saying the left sucks. I'm just saying the right is
as a way to
way
dunk
more
on
rational.
Asmongold, and he also went out of his way to tag Asmongold in this post in the hopes that he would.
Well, the issue is that the right is where the left was 40 years ago. Because the left, believe it or not, did have a moral footing. Now they just don't. They completely obliterated it. So you are right. What I'm saying is that if the left went back toward where it was in the 50s and the 60s, we'd be completely fine right now. But guess what? They want to completely obliterate it. So you are right.
Would see it. Truly ghoulish people, but it gets even worse. You have infamous Hassan Orbiter here, self-proclaimed Sean DeBlack, who has a history of not only hating on Asmongold, but also being quite violent in his rhetoric.
With his own face. Can somebody just... Like, it would just be so easy.
Sean, it would... I can't say what I want to say. How is this okay? How does this guy still have a platform? My ex page can get nuked for defending a friend who had her husband die, but this guy can say this and he still has a platform on Twitch? Come on, man.
It will solve all of our problems. Like, we would have socialism now at this point.
Sean, if you guys do realize that we'll push harder. You do know that, right? Look at what happened with Charlie. Your side of the aisle obliterated that man and left his wife widowed with 2 kids. And then you went on an escapade to make fun of Charlie Kirk, and all that happened was the red side of the aisle got bigger, not smaller. I don't understand why you guys keep on calling for the death of people. It just makes your side look more evil and more evil every day.
Right? We would have socialism at this point.
Socialism is stupid. It's never been successful.
If someone just went out of their way and...
Sean the Black, point me out a communism country that works. Where the people are actually happy. And don't bring up China, because if you ask any Chinese person if they want a democratic republic like the United States, they'll take that. In a heartbeat. If we pulled off of Venezuela on China right now, China would, oh my gosh, God himself would be able to hear that whole entire country cheer. And they would cheer all at once. There's not one time where communism works for the better of humanity. There's not one. Dude, you're retarded. You're retarded, dude. Get that fucking bonnet off your head, too. You look stupid, dude.
It would be so easy. This is what happens when you don't kill every single slave owner after slavery. They have...
Okay. Really?
Children, and their children have...
Let me guess. He's going to go to white people are the problem.
Children's, and their children have children's, and then their children have accidents that should have ended up on a sock, and it becomes destiny.
Now, seeing all this like a true...
Wait, Hassan Orbit really hates Destiny that much? Wow. The left has nothing to convince you besides murking people? That's a sad philosophy. That really is a sad philosophy.
True Hassan Orbiter, this guy went onto social media and quoted the previous clip saying, "Pure Nazi filth. The fact that Twitch is allowing this scourge on the platform will forever be a stain on their reputation," which is so ironic coming from a Hassan Glazer. Like, this guy will actively ignore all of the atrocious behavior.
Yeah, Sean the Black, you're an idiot, dude. I'll even call you out that. You're a straight up idiot, bro. They hate Destiny because he said Hassan was a dumbass? They're both dumbasses. And it just goes back to the whole entire theory of the left just eat themselves to pieces.
Of Hassan and himself and his other orbiters as well. But when Asmongold says something, well, it's gone too far this time. Now, it may shock you that people are exhausted with the overuse and watering down of terms like Nazi. You can see the reply saying, "The word Nazi has lost its meaning because regards like you use it incorrectly. Blah, 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 Nazi, blah, blah, blah. They're just obsessed with Asmongold. Cry harder. Anyone who wants to flood this country with parasite scammers is part of the problem. Fake hospice companies, daycare centers, autism centers, and all..."
Hey, Nick Shirley, shout out to you, dude. Keep this going. This is something that major media hadn't had the balls to touch in almost 2 decades. Good for you, bro. I'm glad you started this trend on YouTube. I'm glad that you're making other people go and investigate this stuff. Because there was a video that I found today while I was on lunch of literally people paying cash for ballots.
All the other scams, hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars every year.
Yeah,
stolen.
they are, but
so that's important context that's being left out by the initial clip that sparked this entire thing. And you can see Asmongold himself replying to Sean's tweet saying,
the only thing that
y'all just keep posting my greatest hits with 35,000 likes. People are done with this performative nonsense. But as I pointed out, there is more context. What Asmongold was talking about was not just random migrants or legal citizens. He was reacting to Nick Shirley's video about the massive taxpayer fraud going on.
We watched this, and I was absolutely appalled by it.
In California, including fake hospice centers, fake daycare centers that are stealing from taxpayers. And on top of that, we're dealing with people who are illegals as well, running these daycares and hospice centers. And that's what Asmongold was talking about. But of course, while he was talking about this on his clip, they intentionally zoomed in so that Asmongold appeared to be talking about something completely else. They removed the background. They zoomed in on Asmongold to remove the fact that he was talking about Nick Shirley's video. And this is something that Asmongold would explain on this clip uploaded to his second channel.
I'm here in Los Angeles at the U.S. Attorney's Office. We're talking about fraud. This place has become one of the epicenters for fraud, waste, and abuse in America. $3.5 billion just here.
These fraudsters, and these do tend to be foreign influences. These are Russian, Armenian gangs, mafia, that are leading a lot of these.
That's why I'm telling Asmongold, don't do this solo, bro. Because Armenians are not to be fucked with. They have literally a slave trafficking ring that extends all the way to Eastern Europe. The only country that they can't get this shit into is Poland. And they've been trying with Poland, and you know what Poland's doing? Straight up, when they try to do it at their border, they straight up shoot them and leave them there. That is how bad... That's what people don't realize about Poland. The only people that are trying to get into Poland illegally are all these Armenians. And Poland knows exactly what they're capable of, so they just shoot them and let it go. Literally. Okay? Asmon, you do not want to fuck with Armenians. You don't want to do it. They will push, and they will keep pushing. And they have a slave trade that extends everywhere in Europe except one country, that is Poland. And Poland doesn't want to deal with the problem so badly, they just shoot them and leave them there. The military doesn't even put them in a black Ziploc bag. Ooh, excuse me. That is not the kind of enemy that you want to fuck with. If you're going to help the United States government, then yeah, use the United States government. Dude, you are not the person, though, to be like Nick Shirley out on these streets trying to catch these people. You're not. You're the guy who sits in his house and tells us what's going on from his computer chair. You're the information, brother. And that's what we need right now. We need a guy like you to give us the information. Tell us where to go on the internet, Asmon, because you're obviously good at it.
These efforts.
Yeah, you talking about fraudsters? They cut it in a way that you were talking about random migrants? Of course they cut it in a way I was talking about random migrants. The only way that these people's ideology can survive is if it's surrounded by lies. Because if they tell the truth, people will agree with me. Be as clear as you can, though. It's easy to be misconstrued in today's climate. There's never a reason to avoid trying to be misconstrued. People will always lie about you. Whenever people can't misconstrue you, they'll just simply make up fan fiction.
Yeah, either way, it's going to go to a lie. Either way. And you guys who are a part of the community and you guys are hardcore fans, you guys know what that is. Because it's been happening for the last 3 days with me. No matter what, somebody's going to lie about you. If you do get into the internet, guys, somebody's going to lie about you at one point. And you got to be prepared for it. Which is why when somebody lies about me, I don't shut up. That is literally the only way to defend yourself. Because if you let it stew and enough people believe the lie because it's the fucking internet and everybody's dumb there, then guess what? It becomes truth.
There's no reason to exist inside of an ecosystem of people that are trying to lie. There will always look on the wrong side of something.
Let the retards scream and whine all they like.
Why is it that you shouldn't want to deport people that are scamming in your country? I think people don't understand.
Those of us who are rational,
a lot of people out there
that
feel the exact same way that I do, and they're tired of pretending that it's racist or.
The common thing that comes from the left, yeah, I get that, but like things like, you know, SA and SH and all that, and grape, nah, I won't rest on that line, dude. I won't let that shit fester. That's not funny. That you can't find, I can't find humor in that.
Bigoted or xenophobic or whatever you want to call it, to say that they want to get the fucking scammers and terrorists and criminals out of their fucking country.
Yeah, so based on that and the relevant circumstances, it's clear that the initial tweet sharing the clip was trying to remove all context, whether that was cropping out what was on the screen and also mislabeling the tweet itself to say things he wasn't even saying. They were trying to set him up, and now people are trying to get him banned, including VTubers like this saying, "So, at Twitch, at Dan Clancy, what's up? I have a sneaking suspicion this individual..."
Okay, dude, if you want to, Vio, if you want to do this to Asmongold, fine then. If Asmongold gets banned permanently, then guess what? Hassan Habibi should. Yeah, you heard me. If you want things fair and just, then guess what? Your boy Hassan better kick rocks too. Because this man's speaking from common sense. You're standing up for a psychopath in a $3 million mansion.
Has never had this sort of heat for Hassan Piker when he's platforming terrorists, when he's playing terrorist propaganda, when he's openly supporting terrorist organizations, when he's instructing his
I don't know, dude. It just hits a personal nerve with me.
Drones to commit acts of terror, when he's abusing dogs, when he's threatening people, when he's advocating for political violence. Where was this brave individual? Well, I'm sure they were just keeping to themselves. And you can see with these sorts of VTubers, they get clout from complaining about people like Asmongold. It's the only way people pay attention. In fact, they're so desperate that they're retweeting themselves and even going back and quoting themselves to keep the attention going, saying people screaming about how this was clipped out of context. Meanwhile, this is his reaction to being called the Nazi filth he is. Also, the way he bots his likes on Twitter. Now they're accusing Asmongold of botting likes. This person can't accept the reality.
So, you retweet it on your own stuff? Like, what does that do, chat? What does that do for the algorithm, though, on X? Like, literally, what does that do for you? Because it's the same information being recycled. Does that impact the algorithm or anything? I didn't even know that that did anything to help you. Like, what the fuck does that even do? That cack-like behavior right there. It just shows the tweet in the timeline. Oh, okay, so it doesn't have any relevancy to the... It doesn't have anything relevant to the actual algorithm then. So your followers see it a second time. Oh! So you're using the followers to gain the algorithm. Sounds like a cheap-ass pussy tactic to me.
Right in front of them, that people are tired of this. Tired of people watering down Nazi to people I disagree with. And yes, the clip being out of context matters. But this person has doubled down, and well, they wanted attention, and attention they received. Asmongold replying, I wonder if this one's botted too. 15,000 likes to 1K saying, I should get banned because I want to deport migrant scammers. Are you regarded?
Bro, yes, Sean DeBlack is retarded. Rev. See, this is why I watch Rev, because Rev is nicer than me.
It's a fair question. Do you want someone banned because they want to deport migrant scammers? Do you think migrant scammers are a good thing for a country? Do you think people should be happy?
You technically multiply the amount of time someone sees it or interacts with it, hence boosting it.
And I look at these people, right? Like
That's so stupid,
the most traction when they're complaining about people like Asmongold. Then you see their actual content.
Another stupid-ass tactic that these libtards get into. Like, what the hell? Liberals are retarded. They're straight up retarded. Pussy ass motherfuckers.
12 likes promoting their stream. They'll get 5, 6, 7,000 likes complaining about Asmongold, but they'll get 12 likes on a tweet promoting their actual content.
It's called being a V-tweeter, Rev.
Ladies and gentlemen, just shows you that Asmongold derangement syndrome is truly a beast in and of itself. And it makes people absolutely lose their minds.
No, they are evil and
sense
retarded.
Of self-awareness.
Yeah, you're right about that,
try
Greeny.
to go in and dunk on this guy out of jealousy or, I guess, a need for attention, whatever it might be. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
So to close this one out, chat. 1, Asmongold should not do this on his own because the people that are behind all of this shit are evil as fuck and will nuke him. Asmon needs to stay in his house. He needs to do what he keeps on doing. He doesn't need to get involved. That's just dumb. Number 2, I have learned that the left got retarded today, and yes, Asmon derangement syndrome is a real fucking thing now. It's a real thing. It really is a real thing now. There's no way around it. It's a real thing. If you guys don't already, go over and like Rev's channel. Give him a subscribe. He's a very, very insightful guy, and he's also Kamiyoshi, so go give Rev some love. And make fun of his glasses being small.